Alex Hormozi built 6 gyms, then scaled Gym Launch, coaching thousands of gym owners on how to build profitable gyms without burning out, teaching them how to get new people in the door, what to charge, and how to keep them. Now, he's never made a video specifically about physical therapy clinics, but a gym is a local brick and mortar health business just like yours. So his playbook maps completely straight onto your practice. I run mine on it, and my cash-based physical therapy practice does consistently over 200K per month with it, all cash-pay clients without taking any kind of insurance. So I'm going to play you the 3 pieces of his advice that made me the most money and show you exactly how we run them at my clinic. And the first one is the scariest because it's all about what you're pricing and what you charge. Lesson 1. So Hormozi owned gyms running the bootcamp model, 99 bucks a month, unlimited classes. And eventually he got burned out from that model and he stopped believing in what he was selling because the price was so low, he couldn't deliver anything that was worth believing in. So he did the one thing every gym owner and PT clinic owner is absolutely terrified of. He tripled his price without warning by sending one letter to his entire member base. What happened next is why I'm playing you this clip first, because it's the highest leverage lesson in this whole video. And it's the one lever that we pulled in our physical therapy clinics that has allowed us to scale to over 200K per month. Let's go ahead and take a look.
And so I sent a mass letter out to my customers that said we were going to go from $99 a month to $299 per month. So I was going to triple my prices, add more value, but I was going to triple my prices. What I want to do is tell you a secondary story of a similar situation that happened later on in my business career. We were selling our program at $42,000 per year, and that was being billed at 800 bucks a week. And I wanted to decrease our churn. I was trying to figure out a way to decrease our churn so we could extend, increase our lifetime value per customer. And I kept at my team and all that stuff. They're like, we have to lower our price. We have to lower our price. I hate lowering prices. I don't like lowering prices. It just generally doesn't mean you make more money. After a long time, I said, you know what? Fine. We're going to add more and we're going to go to $600 per week.
99 to 299, a 3x increase in price. Every PT clinic owner watching this probably just felt their stomach drop just like mine, because if you're running the math in your caseload right now, you're probably thinking, if I 3x my prices, everybody would just leave. But here's what actually happened.
So here's what happened. 1/3 of my customers left. They said, Alex, you suck. I can't believe you're raising prices on us, blah, 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 blah. 2/3 of them stayed at 3 times the price. What happened? I 2x'd the revenue of my business. I serviced only 2/3 of my customers, which means my cost of fulfillment went down and my revenue went up. Excellent combination. And so by doing that one thing, I was able to more than 2x the profit of my business. And so I tell both of these cautionary tales as I was petrified to make both of these decisions. One of them dramatically increased the profit of my business. The other one dramatically decreased the profit of my business.
Sit with that. He lost 1/3 of his customers and doubled his revenue. Fewer people to service, which allowed him to then provide a higher quality service. That's not a pricing trick. That's a completely different business model. And he talks about the principle behind it right here. Let's take a look.
In most cases, providing more value and charging a higher price in order to provide the higher value will make you more money because you will service fewer people at higher prices. The reverse of trying to service more people at lower prices by also providing more things, most times will make you less money, especially in a service-based business.
So let me translate this for you physical therapy cash practice owners, because most of you are running the $99 bootcamp model right now and you don't even know it. You see, most physical therapy clinic owners make this mistakes by doing session by session pricing, the whole discounted packages. Oh, it's typically $150 a session, but if you buy 10, I'll discount it down to $125. That is the bootcamp model. And here's why it kills you. The moment you sell a session, the patient has a unit of comparison. You become commoditized, and the unit down the street is a $30 to $50 insurance copay, or another cash physical therapy practice down the road charging $110. And you will lose that comparison every single time because you're letting them compare time instead of results. At my physical therapy clinics, we don't sell sessions. We sell a plan of care priced on the outcome we're getting them. So a duration-based program anchored to the outcome. The patient isn't buying 12 appointments. They're buying being able to run a 5K again without sharp knee pain in 8 weeks, or being able to play pickleball with their grandkids without achy back pain in 12 weeks. Nobody comparison shops that against the copay because the insurance clinic down the street isn't selling that. And we like to frame these things as programs because we want to anchor in everything you're already doing for them. Things such as customized exercise programming for them to do on their own, communication access to you outside of the in-person sessions. All of these things are things you're already providing. You just need to be able to effectively communicate when you're pitching the plan of care to these evals. That one shift is how we hold premium pricing in a market where patients will happily buy 3 to 7K outcome-based programs while every other physical therapy clinic is racing straight to the bottom with discounted price per session. Now, here's the adjustment that I would make instead. You see, Hormozi repriced his existing members overnight with one single letter. Should you change prices on your existing members overnight with your physical therapy clinic? My answer, no, not on day one. You see, a gym membership is a subscription, while an existing physical therapy plan of care clients are already going through a promise that you already made. And you don't necessarily want to rip up a promise mid-plan. Instead, what we do is reprice the net new evals coming in. So every new evaluation moving forward walks in through the door at the new offer at the new price, while current patients finish the existing plan of care they already bought. And within one patient cycle, typically anywhere from 60 to 90 days for most clinics, your entire active caseload is on the new pricing without a single hard conversation. But here's the thing, a better price only fixes what happens after somebody walks into your clinic. It does nothing for the empty slots on your schedule. And so the second lesson is all about how he gets more people in the door. And the part that should get your attention is that this will literally cost you nothing to run at all. Now, if you're sitting there thinking like, yeah, I know I'm underpriced, but I've got no idea how to restructure my offer without emptying out my whole schedule, that's the first thing that we fix with clinic owners inside Go-Getters Coaching. We re-optimize your offer and pricing, and you see that's usually the fastest jump in revenue a clinic immediately sees. So if you want my team to take a look at your offer and tell you what you should actually be charging, book a call, links down below. All right, so now once your pricing's fixed, every single new patient is worth way more to you, which is exactly why this next lesson is so crazy, because it fills up your schedule while costing you absolutely nothing at all to run. You see, here's what most people miss about Hormozi. Before he ever talks about running ads, this is typically what he tells brand new business owners to do first. And everyone assumes that this is a day one tactic, like it's only for business owners with 0 customers. It's actually even more powerful for you because a clinic that's been open 4 or 5 years isn't starting from 0. You're sitting on hundreds of past patients, discharged patients, gym owners, coaches, people who already trust you with their body. You already have the asset. You just never really understand how to fully optimize and work it. And so here's where he starts.
I want you to go to your email account, to pull all the contacts that you have in there. Anybody that you've ever messaged or emailed, that becomes list 1. List 2 is I want you to go to every single social media profile that you have. Go to your social media profiles where you can direct message people. So if you have followers that you can DM, I want you to write down every single one of those people. List number 3, pull out your phone, look through your contacts, and I want you to export them. List 1 is all your email contacts. List 2 is all of your social contacts, and list 3 is all of your phone and private personal contacts. If you add all 3 of those together, you will have a shitload more leads than you thought you did.
So 3 lists: email, social, phone. Simple. Now translate that to an established physical therapy clinic and the list gets even better because you see his audience here is starting a business from scratch. Their contacts are friends and old coworkers, while yours on the other hand are past patients, people who already paid you, already got a result and already know what it's like to work with you. Past patients who already know, like, and trust you. And so if you have a CRM, you can automate your reactivation reach out through emails, calls, or text with your existing past patient database that's sitting there completely dormant right now, with hundreds of contacts fully permissioned going completely unworked. That's a reactivation campaign waiting to be worked that can be segmented by injury, sport, or body part that are containing thousands in revenue just waiting to be reactivated with a single click of a button. Before you touch any of it though, watch how he says how to reach out, because this is typically where everybody screws it up.
I use a framework that I call ACA. You acknowledge, compliment, and you ask. For example, I can acknowledge and say, oh, so you have 2 kids. You're gonna compliment them about the thing. So it's like, wow, you have 2 kids. You must be a super mom, working full-time and having 2 kids. When we go to ask, we're gonna tie our ask to the compliment we just gave them. Then we transition to whatever type of question that's going to lead them to the service we sell. If I was selling weight loss, I'd be like, hey, so you're a supermodel. How do you have time to eat right and work out? Wait a second. This sounds like selling. It's not, because we're talking humans.
So acknowledge, compliment, and ask. Notice what's missing. There's no pitch in here at all. You're not selling anything in the first message, and the ask itself is the part that changes everything. So listen to how he frames it.
Invite their friends. When you're talking about this stuff, you're not going to sell them. This is huge. You're not going to solicit them. You asked a question, they're going to tell you stuff, and then it's going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, do you know anyone who's looking for X, Y, and Z? Because I'm opening up a few slots to help people do exactly that. You're just asking them if they know anybody. And since you're friends with them and since you're contacts, you're asking them for a favor. You're not asking them to buy from you.
So let's make this concrete. Here's an automated message from my clinic that gets sent out to our patients exactly word for word. Say you discharged a patient 3 months ago. You got her back to running a 5K after an aching knee issue. The message goes like this. Hey Sarah, hope your training is going well. I'm so proud of how far you came from back where we first started. Quick favor, do you know anyone else who's also dealing with nagging knee pain or running related injuries? We have room for 3 more limited eval slots this month, and I'd rather fill them with people just like you. So look at what's not in there. There's no discount, there's no book now link, there's no pitch. You acknowledge the result, compliment the person, and ask the favor. That message converts really well because it's a message between 2 people who already know each other. Now, the discharged patient, Sarah herself, is also a lead. You see, some of these check-ins turn into, actually, you know what? My other knee, my other hip has been bugging me. Is it all right if I come in and take that slot instead? Now, you just don't chase that in message 1. You just let it happen organically, and it will because your patients already know, like, and trust you. Now, Hormozi's number is 100 reach outs a day, but if you're busy treating patients all day, that's gonna be incredibly hard to do. So here's the adjustment. You don't do 100 reach outs a day. You do it in 2 separate lanes. You see, lane 1 is yours, your patients that you see already in the clinic. The best time to ask for a referral is in person. So at the beginning of the week, take a look at your schedule and ask yourself, which clients are crushing it and who would be a fantastic ask for a referral? You want to make a note of it on the schedule, and then when they come in, these are the people you want to ask. Make a goal of just asking 5 patients throughout the week for referrals, and you'll start to see this compound. Lane 2 is going to be through your front desk or your appointment setter that works the list through a reactivation blast campaign in your CRM. A database campaign re-engagement to every single discharge patient in your system that hasn't been in 90 days. The replies come back to a human, but the sends are automated and systemized. So you have 5 personal asks a week, 1 reactivation campaign a month. That's 25 warm personal touches a month, plus hundreds to thousands of reactivation sends, depending on how large your CRM list is, and it would basically cost you $0 in ad spend. Now, the next lesson is on retention. Hormozi's gym launch company sat on top of thousands of gym data. They could all get new members in the door, but almost every one of them were bleeding members out the back. For every 5 new memberships they signed on that month, they also had 5 existing members that canceled their memberships. So he pulled the entire community and asked them, hey, who's actually keeping churn under 3%? You see, out of all the gyms that he worked with, only 20 gyms qualified. 20 out of thousands. And so then he interviewed every single one of them to find out what they had all in common. So what you're about to hear isn't an opinion. It's the top 2% of an entire gym industry that's reverse engineered. So you want to start with the math that actually makes this matter.
Yeah, the industry average is about 9%. Now, if you want us to have something that freaks you out, let's just do this one together. So 9% means we're retaining 91% per month. Now we're going to do our twistiness so that we can do our fancy math. We go X to the Y and we'll do 12 months again. Look at the difference there. 32% of your clients are still there, meaning you lose 68% of your recurring clients if your monthly churn is 9%.
At industry average churn, you lose 2/3 of your recurring patients over the year. And so you're gonna be trying to refill a leaking bucket every single month, and it's gonna be very hard to grow from that model. Now, here's the physical therapy version, and it's sneakier because most of you guys think that you don't have any churn, right? You're thinking, hey, I don't do memberships, I do plans of care, and my patients all get phenomenal outcomes. But here's the thing, you do have churn, it just wears two different disguises. Disguise one, the patient who ghosts at visit 6 instead of visit 12 and never gets back on the schedule and completes the plan of care. Disguise number 2 is the one that nobody counts. The patient who finishes the prescribed plan of care, gets a phenomenal great result, and then doesn't convert onto a back-end membership offer or never hears from your clinic again. That's a churned customer, except you just filled it under a successful discharge. You need to have a back-end membership offer to keep and retain your patients that you worked so hard to get in the first place. Now, you might be thinking, oh, but doesn't it mean that I'm not doing my job if my clients keep having to come back? That's a false belief, and I'll tell you exactly why. Your initial plan of care is to help them get out of pain and get back to their sport pain-free. Once they're back to doing the activity they enjoy, this unlocks a whole nother set of problems that you can now help them solve. Performance and prevention, which is exactly what your back-end membership offer is for. And here's what's fixing your churn is actually worth.
All right, and so what I did was I did 100 divided by 3%. That's $3,300 of LTV, lifetime value, right? Lifetime amount of revenue that they're gonna be able to collect over this customer. If they pay $100 a month, you're gonna get 33 months out of this person because it's 100 divided by 0.03. Same $100 price point. Remember I said the industry average was 9 divided by 0.09, 1,100 bucks is what the LTV of those gyms are. So the people who had conquered their churn made 3 times more revenue per customer than everyone else.
3 times more revenue per customer. Not from raising prices, not from more leads, from the same person staying longer. And this is exactly what we found at my physical therapy clinics as well. I talked about the 3 R's in how to scale to 200K per month video: review, refer, retain. And that retain number is the one that changed the business. Roughly 40% of our patients continued past beyond their plan of care onto a back-end performance membership. So same patients, same acquisition costs, and their lifetime value doesn't just inch up, it multiplies. You see, Hormozi's top 2% gyms in my clinic landed on the same exact answer independently, which should tell you something. So the obvious question now is, what did those 20 gyms actually do to cut their churn and retain more members? 5 habits. Let's watch, and then I'll give you the physical therapy clinic version of every single one.
First thing that they were all doing is that if someone not showing up at the gym by Wednesday of that week, so they missed Monday and missed Tuesday, they escalated them. All of them had different processes around this. Some of them did it by Friday, some of them did it by Tuesday. But the end point was, if someone was not consuming the service, they immediately escalated it and would repeatedly try and contact them to get them scheduled for time to come in, which means they had accountability around consumption. Number 2, the vast majority of them had exit interviews, meaning if someone wanted to leave, they would have to come in and talk to somebody. And there's 2 benefits to this. One is you get to identify the things that are wrong with your business because these people will tell you why they are leaving. This gives you the opportunity to fix things that are not good. Number 2 is a lot of times people just need to vent, and the things that they're venting about, it sounds like pain, means it can be solved, which means a lot of times over half of those people get resold into a higher level package. It's like, no one ever contacted me. It's like, well, you're not in the contact me plan. You're in the do-it-yourself plan. You should get into the coaching level where we actually hold you accountable. Oh, I didn't know you guys had that. Yeah, we just didn't know that you needed that. Cool. And then all of a sudden, this person goes from being a loss and a cancel to being an ascension. They make sure people are consuming. Number 2, they save exit interviews so they can collect data and ascend existing customers. Number 3, they all did member events. All right, so they had some sort of community component that happened on a regular basis. The extent to which they had it was different. The cadence was different. But I'll tell you right now that if you do it on a quarterly basis, that usually works, for in terms of bringing the community together, you're usually in good hands. Number 4 is that they had handwritten cards that they would send out on a regular basis to each of the people in their community. Some of them would send it out with gift cards to bring friends, which is a great way to generate referrals as well. Some of them would just have it as appreciation. And here's the key point about how these cards had to be written. They had to be personalized. All right, so it can't just be, hey, thanks for being a member, love you lots, send. Doesn't work. It has to be, hey, Charlotte, you've really been advancing on your pull-ups. And if you're like, well, this only works for gyms, I'm not even going to comment on that. Use your brain. Can you personalize something to any kind of improvement that someone has had in your business? Probably, hopefully, and that you can use this for any type of complex problem that you have. And so the way that this is done. This is called a consultative method, but you go and you talk to experts in the space. So if you sit on top of a community, all of the solutions to all of the problems that you have already exist in that community. Someone has solved it.
1. They escalate the no-show before they fall off. In a clinic, the moment a patient misses and doesn't rebook, that's not a scheduling item. That's a 5-alarm retention event. First off, you should be booking out their entire plan of care from the eval day 1, so they should always have something on the schedule. But in case that you don't, your team needs to make calls that day and not just send them a reminder text 3 days later. The gap between missed visit 1 and ghosted the entire plan of care is about 72 hours, and most clinics sleep right through it. And so if there is no response, then you need to continue to reach out or have some sort of automated text workflow set up to reach out to them until they actually do respond. 2, you need to have a real conversation before any cancellation. Nobody drops off from a plan of care without talking to a person first. And notice what Hormozi found, right? Half the people who came in to quit actually got resold into a higher tier. Now, the clinic version for this, the patient who wants to stop at visit 8 isn't always a lost cause. They oftentimes just need a restructure, either different frequency, different plan extension, or bridge straight onto membership. But this can only occur if there is a human conversation. Number 3, patient events. The gyms did member events, you do patient appreciation community events. For example, a runner's mobility workshop, a booty and barbell workout event at your clinic. This does double duty, right? It's gonna retain the people who come in, and for every guest that they bring is lesson number 2's referral engine running itself. 4, handwritten personalized cards. Not, oh, thanks for choosing us. Personalized card that says one thing that they actually accomplished. Hey John, you're able to deadlift 225 pounds 8 weeks after telling me you think you'll never be able to lift ever again because of how chronic and depressing your low back pain is. I'm incredibly proud of you. You see, that probably is gonna cost you $2.30, but patients will keep those cards on the fridge forever, while nobody has ever kept an automated email on the fridge. And 5 is a personal touch. As you spend more time with your patients, find out what they like. For example, if they love crumble cookies, get them the new flavor cookie that came out that week. This is the one thing that everybody nods at, but nobody does. And it's the one thing that feeds the 40% membership number more than anything else on the list. You see, people already come into your clinic expecting to get great results, but they ultimately stay on long term because of the relationships that they build. And so to wrap this lesson up for you, let me math this thing out for you, because at the end of the day, it's just math. So you have same patient, same plan of care, same price, but the one variable is whether or not that one person stays on beyond the initial plan of care. For example, we have patient A. They buy a plan of care at $3K, they finish, they discharge, and they're gone. And so their LTV, or the lifetime value of that one patient, is gonna be just $3,000 and they're done. While patient B, same $3,000, but the 5 habits exist and she rolls onto the performance membership after discharge. Call it $300 a month and stays on for a whole year. That's $3,600 on top of the already existing plan. So now we have an overall lifetime value of $6,600. So same patient, same marketing cost, but more than double the value. You didn't just sell anybody anything new. You didn't just disappear after the discharge or after they finish the plan of care. So what I want you to do now, let's go ahead, let's zoom out for a second. If even 4 out of every 10 patients take that path, which is exactly what we run at our clinics, then your revenue per patient will jump roughly 50% across the entire clinic with 0 new leads. 0 new marketing dollars. And that's why the money is in the retention, not the ads, the retention. And now there's one more clip from that same exact video that I have to play you, because it's about the mistakes that I watch physical therapy clinic owners make the second things start working. And it quietly kills all 3 of these lessons at once.
Do not automate what you should systematize. It's one of the sayings I have when it comes to service. As soon as someone finds out that communications are automated, they stop paying attention because you stop paying attention to the communication. You can have a system around something, just do not automate it, because as soon as human touch is gone, people stop caring about it altogether, and it actually withdraws goodwill from the goodwill bank account of your customers rather than depositing. It's better to say nothing at all than to automate things for the most part. Many times I have found when it comes to customer success and getting people to believe that you give a shit, which is kind of the point of most services.
So this is the trap of leverage and automations. You see, the moment a clinic owner gets a taste of systems and automations, the moment the CRM workflows start firing, the temptation is to automate everything. Automating the check-ins, automating the follow-up, automating the birthday text. And what you've actually done is automate the personalization, automating the care out of a business that sells care. You see, Hormozi's distinction is the whole game, right? You build a system, but you keep the human inside of it. Systematize who reaches out, when, and what happens next. But that's the system. The touch itself stays completely human. Patients can smell the difference between a clinic that has a follow-up sequence versus a clinic that actually gives a damn. And they will only stay, refer, and rejoin for the second one. Now, I want you to take a step back and look at everything that I just played you. The pricing, the outreach, the retention habits. Notice what none of it is. None of it is actual clinical skills. How good of a physical therapist, how good of a clinician you are. Physical therapy school teaches you how to fix pain and how to treat injuries, but it didn't teach you 1 minute of this. But this is what decides whether your clinic wins or not. The physical therapy clinics doing 100K, 200K a month are not run by better physical therapists than you. I promise you that. They're run by physical therapy clinic owners who treat the business the way they would treat a patient. They assess it, find the dysfunction, find the root cause, put it on a program, progress it, and have ongoing maintenance and optimization for it. And here's the part that should make all of this feel very doable. None of this is new. Hormozi proved every piece of it on gyms years ago, at scale, with the receipts. And I proved every piece of it on my own physical therapy cash practice, Motion RX. The playbook is sitting right there. So the only question remaining is whether you'll run it or will you continue to do the same thing that you are currently doing and see no changes? So that's how Alex Hormozi's playbook can translate directly into your physical therapy cash practice. Now, if you want to see what all this actually looks like when it's all running at once, I filmed a full video breaking down how we scaled my own physical therapy cash practice, Motion RX, to consistently doing over 200K per month. The exact levers that we use, the real numbers, all of it. So it's right here on the screen. Go watch that one next. Peace.